everyone, this is Sheryl Noethe, Montana's Poet Laureate, and I'm here to teach you about writing a poem that responds to this poem that I've written on the board called Lost. This is a poem you could use in a lesson about place, and I'll read it to you so you can hear the line breaks, which are very important, and then afterwards I'll offer some suggestions. Lost. Stand still. The trees and bushes behind you are not lost. Wherever you are is called here, and you must treat it as a powerful stranger. Must ask permission to know and to be known. The forest breathes. Listen, it answers. I have made this place around you. If you leave it, you may come back again, saying, here. No two trees are the same to raven. No two branches are the same to wren. If what a tree or bush does is lost to you, you are surely lost. Stand still. The forest knows where you are. You must let it find you. The author is David Wagoner, and he is a Northwest American poet. The title is underlined, and he uses a different, very free verse kind of punctuation. He's capitalized the first letter of every line, which is quite common with poetry, although you don't have to. You'll notice it doesn't rhyme, but it has a rhythm. And this is an instructive poem if you get lost. And one of the things that I've learned is that when people get lost, they travel in circles. It's just natural to go around in circles and come back to the same place. So this poem instructs you and informs you what to do if you're lost, which is treat it as a powerful stranger. Ask permission to know and be known. The forest breathes. Listen, it answers. If you leave it, you may come back again saying, here, which is an important word in this poem. Wherever you are is called here. If you leave, you may come back again saying here. I love no two trees are the same to raven, no two branches are the same to wren. Because you may feel lost as a human, but the wildlife that live there are perfectly at home. Stand still. The forest knows where you are. Let it find you. Now, I like to use this poem to think about times I've gotten lost. For example, going into a big department store and losing track of your mom. Once I grabbed a stranger's hand because she had a red coat like my mom's, and I went, Mom, but it wasn't Mom. I'm sure many of you have experienced that. Or running through the mall, searching for your mom or your dad, or being outside on a walk and losing sight of people and feeling lost. What happens is you feel terrified and you panic, but this poem instructs you to stand still and let the forest find you. So you could write about any example of being lost. Sometimes it can be about the loss of a friend. Sometimes it can be about the loss of an idea that was just going through your mind and disappeared. So when you write your version of this poem, think about the times you've been lost or someone you know has been lost, and describe it and give instructions. Also, use the vocabulary of the place. And for example, here it's trees, bushes, branches, wrens, ravens, and it creates an image in the reader or listener's mind. Flesh it out with the trees and the wren, and also remember how important details are when you're writing poetry and the use of the five senses. Now, he says, listen, one of the five senses, and I love that he says the forest breathes, because everything breathes. Everything has a pulse, even if it's so minuscule we can't see it. Sometimes you may have lost a friend. When I was in 4th grade, my very best friend up and moved away with her family, and I dreamt about her. I dreamt about walking by her house. I dreamt about her coming out of the house and me saying, "You're back, I missed you." I never did get to see this little girl again, but I thought about her for years and I dreamt about her. The loss of a friend is very difficult and it makes you feel terrible. That's another thing that you can write about in your poem. And there's no specific form. This is a free verse poem, which means you get to build it where you want the reader to take a pause or a break. You have the line break. And so this is a good example around the line break about, I call it wraparound, like when you're using a computer and it wraps around to the next sentence. That happens here. The trees ahead and bushes beside you, line break, are not lost. So this way it leads up to the answer and then continues on the next line. And the sign in sign language for tree and for forest, I like to use sign language with my students because using sign language helps your brain connect with both sides so that what you see and hear first, like riding a bike in sign language, becomes a language and switches sides of your brain and integrates it so that later you can learn math and chess and music because your mind is prepared for it. So I would like to show you the sign language alphabet so that you can practice it with your friends and use it. A is an apple. B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now I'm going to spell a word for you, and even though this may be the first time you've seen finger spelling in sign language, you may be able to get it. This is letter K, and when you drop it, it's the letter P. So the word I'm going to spell does start with a P. And the word, if you haven't guessed it yet, is pizza. And the sign in sign language is 2 Z's for pizza. See you next time.